Hey everybody, this is Samantha Denefe with Your ID in Arkansas Catholic, and I want to talk to you about having a hook. Okay, so I come from a sales background, and a hook is something you usually throw out to try to get someone interested in what you're selling. That's not exactly what I'm talking about, but I do want to kind of go into this because it is fish fry season, which means all our men's clubs and Knights of Columbus and all the churches are hosting fish fries on Friday night. And you might be thinking, this is a great evangelization opportunity. And I would agree with you. You might even be like so advanced in your evangelization in your church that you've got an evangelization team and you're meeting and trying to figure out what to do at the fish fry. Now, sometimes we go, oh, let's put up a booth or a table and maybe even design a really pretty poster on Canva and like see if people will come talk to us. That doesn't work usually very well. Tried it, doesn't work. What works better is getting together with your team or your couple of people and helping them learn how to tell their story, and then getting it down to a hook, just like a sentence or two that they can share at the fish fry. Because fish fries bring everybody, non-Catholics, lukewarm Catholics, Catholics who might only go to Mass at Christmas, not even Easter, might come to the fish fry because by God, they are Catholic and they eat fried fish on Fridays in Lent. Okay, so you have tons of people coming to these things. It's a great opportunity. So what you want to do is get a team together, a couple of people, and say, let's go to the fish fry together. And then, here's the really big one, not sit together. I know, it's crazy, but what you want to do is go meet people at your fish fry. And it can be very organic. It doesn't have to be something crazy. And if you help them develop their personal story and get it down to a hook, just like a little sentence that you can throw in there, it's a great way to ease into spiritual conversation, especially with people who are coming to the fish fry to stuff their face with wonderful fish and hush puppies instead of having spiritual conversations. So it makes it a little less awkward. So I kind of have two hooks that I like to use a lot. At a fish fry situation, what I would probably do is get in line and talk to someone and just say like, hey, how are you doing? Are you a parishioner here? And they'd be like, oh yeah, I've been a parishioner my whole life. It's like, oh, I go to 10:30 Mass and I only talk to like my little circle of people. What Mass do you go to? Oh, 10:30. Oh, you must sit on the other side. You know, like very organic, not scary. And then, you start talking and you can say something like, well, I've only been Catholic a couple of years and my hook is I was an atheist and then became Catholic. So for a lot of people, especially like lukewarm people who are like, what? Why would you do that? They have questions. Or for people who maybe have family members or children who are struggling with the question of God, they have questions. And it just automatically opens up the door to good spiritual conversation. Or if they want nothing to do with that, they will change the subject about weather, So it makes it really easy. I think of evangelization sometimes as just going fishing, like throw out your hooks, see if anybody wants to bite. It's not in your face. It's not hitting them over the head with the Bible. It's inviting them into a conversation based on your relationship with God. The second one I like to use a lot is I use more at parties that are not Catholic per se, like if I'm just out and about or I'm at the doctor's office. I'm about 6 foot, so someone will always say something about how tall I am. And part of my story has to do with my husband. My husband is 6'10". So they say like, oh my gosh, you're so tall. And I say like, yeah, you should see my husband, he's 6'10". And they go, what, 6'10"? I go, yeah, he's 6'10". Funny story, I actually wanted to become a nun, and I went to God and I said, Jesus, I'm gonna be a nun unless you send me a man who's 6'10", Catholic, smarter than me, and a leader in my Bible study. And before you knew it, in walked this freshman, 6'10", smarter than me, a leader in the Bible study, and I was sold. So right there, like it's a really funny story. It's easy, it's not too threatening, but it opens up the door to spiritual conversation. So what I want you to do is take some time this Lent and think about your spiritual journey and what maybe are a couple of your hooks, your quick, like, well, I was kind of lukewarm and then I joined this one Bible study and it just set me on fire. Or my kids have all left the house and I started thinking maybe I should give this God thing like a real shot. Like those are quick little hooks that you can just throw out there and see if they're interested. And if they are, you can move into a deeper conversation. So at your fish fry or fun event that you're doing this Lent, throw out some hooks. See if you can have some deeper spiritual conversations. See you guys next month.